agreed to lease the building for community use. So we greatly appreciate that gesture from the diocese, and we thank you for that, Bishop Dennis. Now, there were quite a few people who contributed directly to this, to the development of the Arthur's Grave exhibition. So I'd like just to thank them, AV3 Media, Shane Kavanagh and Brian Hickey for the digital media production, AlphaSet Limited, Fahy Building Services, who did a great job in renovating the building, and also Arcadia Architects. I think in particular I would like just to thank Dara Lynn, the curator for this project. And certainly I don't think any words from me can just do justice to the fantastic job. And I think you can all see, the vision and the energy that she brought to this particular project, and I think it just stands out for itself. So thank you very much, Darren. Research for the project was provided by Patrick Guinness, Hyde O'Keefe, Michael O'Neill and Jim Tancred, and I would like to thank them for their work. I would also like to thank Eileen Colgan of the Guinness Archive for her support, and I would like to welcome Dave Mongie, Chairperson of Kildare Tourism, and I would like to thank Anya Mangan for Kildare Tourism for the great support and advice she gave us in developing this project. We have some refreshments afterwards, and you're all very welcome, and I would like to thank the Clifford Lions for providing those refreshments. And again, I'm sure you'd all join with me in congratulating the Clifford Lions on the tremendous achievement of getting 2 Michelin stars recently. So a project like this, takes a lot of energy and work. And I would like to acknowledge the committee of the Ardclough Village Centre. I think there are about 10 of us altogether, and they all contributed in a whole variety of ways. But I would really just like to thank them, for all of the work in bringing this to fruition. The project director was John Whelan, and there's John. And for a project like this to succeed, there are kind of lots of ups and downs. You need somebody that's got great drive and commitment and vision. And I think John brought a dogged determination that has brought us to where we are today. So special thanks to John. The finances are also very important in a project like this, and again I would just like to thank Jerry O'Gorman for looking after those and keeping them in good order. Several members of the community provided financial support for the project, and we are very grateful for that. You can see all these information boards around the building, and they just provide a tremendous kind of history and heritage of life in Ardclough going back hundreds of years. They were provided by Owen Corrie, and we are very grateful to Owen, for this very generous donation for the information boards, and indeed for all the effort that he has made in bringing this day to fruition. Tommy Maguire and the members of the Youth Gerard Graveyard Committee, where our grave lies, must also be acknowledged. For those of you that have been to Oak Gerard, you will know how immaculately kept and how lovingly tended Oak Gerard Graveyard is, and that is all due to Tommy and his committee. For those of you that have not been there, it's only 5 minutes at the other side of the bridge, and I would certainly highly recommend a visit, and we believe this is the most beautiful graveyard in Ireland. Most of all, I would just like to thank the local community for their support. Ardclough is a very vibrant and active community. It is very proud of its history and its connection with perhaps the most famous Irishman of all. But I think this exhibition, it's not just about Arthur's grave. It captures the history and heritage of all of the community and of all of the people in Ardclough. And if you look around here, you will see information about the GA Club, information about the school and about all the other organisations, and I think that really is a vital part of this exhibition. So finally then, just to say that we are delighted to welcome visitors from near and far, and with this story we can actually now share our story proactively, and we look forward to that. It's a great day for us, and I think it's the fruits of a very strong local volunteer spirit, aligned with tremendous support, at both local and at national level. And I hope you will agree with me that it really demonstrates community tourism at its best. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So I'd just like to hand over now to Commissioner Hogan just to say a few words.
Thank you very much, John. Richard, Reverend Clergy, distinguished public representatives, former colleagues. Great to see all of the people that I've known over the years in public life, and I want to welcome the Chief Executive of Kildare County Council. He came a long ways from Laois. Come a long ways from everywhere. But it's wonderful to see the local representatives, and to thank you, John, for acknowledging the great work that they do in making sure that projects like these, because they have a lot of choices to make, and choices are never easy in public life. And when you have choices to make, it's great to see that they're all behind you here in the local community. And the reason I'm here is many, but when John sent word through an intermediary to know would I do this job, I said, well, why should I be doing this job? There's so many other people. And then he said, well, I worked in the Department of Agriculture. So, under the Rural Development Programme, he said, we can fit it in as part of your responsibilities before you leave office. So we're just about on the boundary of that as well. And certainly, John and others from the Department of Agriculture who live in the area have done a great job here, and I want to acknowledge, I suppose, that work. But of course, if you want to have a job done, you have to get a busy person, and John, in his former life, very busy, but now with his team of people, like the project director, I like that, and all of the committee members that have been associated with this project, I want to thank you very much for that. I discovered from Father O'Byrne here that we're actually, he said you wouldn't know where my uncle is from. He's down from a place called Piltown in Kilkenny. And he said, Temple Orme or something like that. So the Whites of Mullenbeg and I we're indirectly connected. What we call that way is the marriage connection. So the Whites of Mullenbeg. So it was good to meet a relative of mine here, a newfound relative. And speaking, because it's very appropriate that we're in history and heritage, at least we now have a connection made. And of course, everything that happens around here is associated with art. So now, I don't know whether Richard is politically correct or not to say that probably, apart from Daniel O'Connell, the most famous person here in the area is associated with drink. But in any event, they are very famous people. And Daniel O'Connell, I read a little bit about the history of the High Stone of our talk. And another reason I'm here is because I know you're very involved in hurling. And Owen was telling me that you could have been meeting my local parish of Tullerone in the intermediate semi-final here recently, so it's just as well we weren't meeting, or it could be a different atmosphere today. But certainly the GA is of course the bedrock of any community, and it's very strong here in our clough. And as somebody that came from a very GA community, I certainly wanted to acknowledge that contribution that you're making, not just to football, but to hurling as well, here in this particular area. So here is, I suppose, a demonstration of the various local authority and national programs coming together in synergy with community contributions to make a big difference to your local area and to make a use. Bishop, and for that we are grateful for making a community use of a facility rather than letting it lie idle. So I always believe that there are many great old buildings around cities and rural areas that we can, with a little bit of imagination, turn them into modern day use, but they have to be supported. Because they won't. The current expenditure side, Mr. Manager, I'm sure, is always a difficult one. It's not so difficult to get capital expenditure from time to time, but to get the running costs and to make sure that happens is always the big challenge. So I hope that the community will continue to support in every possible way in order to make sure that the committee won't be, as they say, going around looking for you again to deliver the goods. So that's very important to keep that alive. So I just wanted to say those brief words. I'm really honoured to be here. I spent some time here in the Kildare area. I stay in the Strathern area from time to time, and it's nice to be between the two motorways. It's handy for Kilkenny, handy for the airport, and handy for Dublin City Centre if we have to do things. So you're very well located, and therefore it's an opportunity for your tourism trail to be able to put this on your list of trail activities with the huge amount of touristic and historical artefacts and places that people can visit in the area. So I hope that people will be able to say that when they were passing through the area that they were able to visit this wonderful heritage centre here in Artach as well. So thank you again for coming out in such numbers on such a difficult morning and a cold morning, but I always bring good news, the weather is fine. So I'm really pleased again to be asked to do this, and I formally now and officially declare this Heritage Centre open.
Thank you.